Hi everyone, it's Artist from Carmen Construction Limited. In today's video we're going to start our next job, which will be this flat roof. As you can see, it's been like a cold roof before, so we're going to turn it into a warm roof. We're also going to fit a lantern, which is so here we got it delivered here. Well, not lantern, skylight, sorry. Like so, that's triple glazed. It obviously leaked, so not too much, but still did with those storms we had. So this is from the outside. We're also going to replace this, but this will be just the with not warm roof, but we'll just replace it with fiberglass, because the heights, if you obviously do warm roof, you put 150 insulation or so, so that will just push it too high, because we got that parapet wall there, and yeah, we don't want to interfere with that. So that's single skin anyway, and that's our external sort of toilet. So yeah, here is the main. So the skylight will be sort of where the dining table would be. So I'll just run through the jobs we're gonna have to do. Firstly, we're gonna have to put triple joists, extra joists to take the weight of our skylight. Obviously, depending on the span and the size of the glass, you'll have to sort of maybe put a flitch beam in or something like that. You know, if you go very heavy. This is not that heavy, it's probably about 80 to 100 kilos, so we'll have a triple joist fitted like that, like so, and then that way as well, and then we'll form our stud wall. And we have kit with actual like a insulated upstand, so we'll have to just build stud wall up through the roof. So at the highest point your roof is 150 millimeters above your deck. That's what we're gonna do. We have, as you can see, taken the ceiling down, and reason being was we just want to get things drying, because yeah, as I said, it all happened just suddenly, so we had to let it dry. And this was the obviously area affected. As you can see, that's where the insulation was getting wet. I'll show you up the top. Alright, so first job we're going to do, whilst actually roof is on, we're going to mark up line for our new lead, which we're obviously going to have to put in. So the way I work out, remember, you're going to have to be 150 mil above the roof finish, so that will allow for your trim to go up, fillet, whatever roof you're doing. If it's a fiberglass, you're gonna have a D trim. If it's felt, you'll have a like a tilt fillet or something to obviously have take your felt up the wall. Or even if it's a DPM roof, you're gonna have a tilt fillet to create the corner 45 and up. So the easy way is really, you work out what your materials will be. So for the sub base and top layer, if it's a warm deck, allow 30 mil, because you're gonna put 11 mil board as a base, OSB. Then you're gonna put your vapor barrier, and after Celitex we're putting 150 mil, and then 18 mil on top, and fiberglass that is only a couple mil thick. So add all those numbers depending on what your roof you're doing and what thickness of the insulation you're using, and that's how you're going to get where you want to cut your line. Also today I'll give it a go on a MAXVAC extraction for, well, Shroud should I say, not extraction, for the grinder. I have had it, I never really used it because it wasn't that much to do and you end up just grinding out. So today I'll test this as well. So this will be a MAXVAC lid tool test run. It's silly, I had it long time, should have used it before to be fair, but anyway. So that will test this as well. I'll let you know what I think about it. Well, it did definitely stop a lot of it. As you can see, there is still some dust, so I got to get that pipe off. Fortunately, screws are up have gone, so I'll mess around with that a bit so I can finish grading. But as you can see, to be fair, it was not too bad as I was expecting. Okay, there is some dust, obviously it's not 100% dust proof, but it didn't fly everywhere, so you know, it does take a lot, I must say, and it's safer for your eyes as well. Obviously use your goggles, but that extraction does help. So yeah, that's where we are. So I think if you do a lot of it, it definitely is worth having, and also saves you tidying up as well. So yeah, I think, you know, if you do a lot of it, I would suggest having one. So, we stripped the roof, got the house rail to get off on both ends, but we can do that, that's no problem. On inspection of the deck, it doesn't seem to be that bad, so what we will do, we'll retain this layer as our base to take Celotex. And we're only gonna infill the areas where we see that it needs to be infilled. So Skylight's gonna be in this sort of area here, sort of in front of that window roughly. So what we do, we'll trim out, because we obviously got to put our timbers, triple joists in and trimmers. So this is my next job. We'll do that. Luckily got see where it's been nailed, so we can cut on a joist and just strip up the area where we're going to put our joists for the Skylight. As you can see, we also opted for insulated upstand, just to speed things up really. Obviously you can build your own ones, but that's, as I'm mainly doing on my own, just to speed things up, and also that's gives us clear indication what our joists need to, trimmers need to be at, so you don't have to, you know, worry about it. We got exact measurements there of our opening, so that's how we're gonna set it out, our timbers. So yeah, obviously if this sub base wouldn't be as good, we would have to rip this up as well and just 11mm OSB, but because it's not too bad, there's a bit of area here, but I think we're going to be cutting it out anyway, so that's not going to affect us, and yeah, this is going to be good enough for us to use what we have, so save a bit of money there and time. Yeah, we're just going to have to get that off, but we'll do that later date. Now we're going to concentrate on timbers, and yeah, we go from there. So here, as you can see, we've stripped all the old fascias off, and we've started cutting our OSB. This is worked out, so it covers the joist, size of the joist you have on the roof, plus your insulation, plus your 18mm TNG. I have made it slightly taller, because what I'm gonna do, I will run a router around and I'll trim it to existing. So I'll just come up and show you. So this is what it looks like. So this is the mark where we're gonna be roughly, and because obviously it's got that fall and you don't know how, especially if you have a old deck which you're gonna retain, and joists, etc., with all your fairings, and you don't really want to mess around too much. What I do, I cut them slightly bigger. Then we're gonna have our vapor barrier, which is not gonna be this, which you can technically use, but we're gonna use the stick-on one, which is like foil backed roll, which will mean also we're gonna have to prime this area, and then what it does, it makes it watertight. So that's another thing. And third thing with that one is, technically when you penetrate it, it seals the screw thread, so if and when there could be an issue, it wouldn't seep through technically. But anyway, that's not about it, that's more for us to get it weather tight. So with this, what we have, as I said, we're gonna have insulation, we're gonna have vapor barrier, insulation, and then 18 TNG on top. With the front, we're gonna take our TNG floor slightly out for a drip trim. You want 70mm. That's allowing you to put your OSB and your fascia board. And after we've done the deck, we will trim this off. So there's few ways of doing it. You can use skilly, roughly things cut off, or I will use a bearing guided router bit and I'll just route the excess off. Or equally, you could use multi-tool, just cut two sides off, and that way it's going to be to the exact height. And also don't forget, you're having your trims, etc., so it will allow deck and the sides to move, because it will move. Not so much with this timber because it's an older timber that's dried now, but if you got a new deck, it certainly would. So basically, with your trims nailed into the deck, if there is some movement, it will not crack your deck. So they will have some sort of movement, so it won't affect it, because the only thing you'll do, you put a button on a side of this upstand, and then you're gonna stick mastic, which will allow to be flexible if it does move around. Because I can show you here, they're quite flexible. You can see those trims, so they allow for some movement, so that will be okay. So yeah, I'm not filming all of it, I have done before one, but I will come and show you at stages when we have finished. But this is what we have now. So we're just prepping the other side, and we're poking insulation before we're putting the board on, because we can't get to that. Obviously, if you have completely new deck, it's a different thing, you can then put Celotex in, but we're not to that stage yet. So and we need to get on, so we're just poking it all in full with insulation to stop that cold bridge. And yeah, so we do the other side, the upstand, as we've done here. We're gonna leave the front off because the weather is gonna turn, so we will put our vapor barrier stuck on and we'll let it all fall this way. We'll leave it long so we can roll it back up once we know the weather will be okay, that we can carry on. But in the meantime, that will keep this dry. So that's the plan, and yeah, hopefully we'll get it done. So yeah, as I said, I'll catch up with you in a bit after we've done our next stage, and I'll show you what we've done and we go from there.